how do you deal with group bullies?
The second they start showing emotions, they're told to suck it up.
And then you would be the next target. And no one wanted that. I've
Mhm.
never told anyone this before in my 15 years of existence. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Teen Talk Show. This is your host, Jasmine, joined by my co host, Prateek.
Welcome, guys, to another educational and empowering episode. We are joined by a very special guest, Ananya Mohan.
Hi guys, I'm Ananya Mohan. I'm the president of the anti-bullying club in my school.
Thank you, Ananya. The topic we're going to discuss today is bullying. So, before we go on, I'd like to acquaint everyone with the meaning, with the literal meaning or definition of bullying. It means to seek harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable. Now, my first question to you guys is, do you agree with the definition? Like, is that all bullying is?
Bullying, I feel like we cannot generalize, but if you were looking from that perspective, yes, this definition is more or less correct.
Okay, so if you were to add something to the definition, what would it be?
Probably add seeking or while doing the act of bullying. So one of the reasons why you're doing it may be to seek satisfaction.
Okay, that brings us to another very interesting topic. Why do people bully? Before we go on with the rest of the show about how to combat it, I think it's important for us to understand why people bully in the first place.
Okay. So it's like a power game, right? You want to show you are the alpha and you can dominate others.
So is that all it is, a power dynamic?
And also validation.
Very true, Prateek. I'll take up on the word when
Sure,
you said validation. One of the really huge reasons why some people bully is they have low self-esteem.
So
We
seeking-
have an array of reasons exactly for seeking validation because you yourself are not that confident in yourself, even though that might not be visible to the person being bullied. But deep down, the person may have a really low self-esteem.
Okay, so I looked this up online, and there's actually something really, really interesting I found out. It's about the psychology of bullying, right? Why a person bullies in the first place. And one of the key things they mention is that it's scientifically proven. We've come to the conclusion that the reason people get bullied, contrary to popular belief, is not because of the unique characteristics of the person being bullied or the victim. Basically, sometimes we assume that, and even I had this question, right? Why? Like, is there something that makes certain people easier targets to get bullied? Like maybe them being shy or being different? But turns out that's not it at all. Many people tend to dye their hair color or get a tattoo or be with someone they don't even like simply so that they're not seen as different and they don't get bullied for it. But that does not make a difference. The person does not bully you for some specific trait about you or for some specific reason. They do it for their own self. It's not about you. It's completely about them. Someone gets bullied, they tend to introspect and search for things that are wrong with them, right? Like maybe I am too weird, that's why they don't like me. Or maybe I'm not pretty enough, that's why I get bullied. Or maybe I did
So
this.
is jealousy a part as well?
I was studying about bullying and all at the beginning of this year, and I found out one of the major reasons is exactly like you said, not about the person being bullied, but about the bully. So it's always in the lines of wanting to dominate others, improving their social status, like the bully improving their social status. So we can also relate it to peer pressure because I have come across so many people who are completely different when they're around others, but when they're in a certain group, they act very differently. If you talk about ragging in colleges, a lot of the reasons people rag is because hamari hui thi. So why is it not that we would not bully our juniors? So that is also one of the major reasons, I think.
And it's also very interesting that this has a gender issue to it as well.
I think we can relate this to how young men and women or young girls and guys are raised in our society. Like with men or with boys, the second they start showing emotions, they're told to suck it up or be a man and grow a pair, right? They're strongly discouraged For girls, it's the exact opposite. They are encouraged to express themselves and show how they feel and cry it out and all that. And this, for guys, right, they keep bottling this stuff up over time, and then after a period of time, this comes out in the form of aggression or bullying.
Very true. People are conditioned from the very childhood to grow up in that sense only.
One thing I have come to notice is that the people who do tend to get bullied, one of the things they have in common, like common characteristics, not always, I'm not generalizing it, of course, I'm just speaking solely based on my personal experience, but one thing they tend to have in common is them not speaking out and them not responding. The bullies, they tend, like, they want to aggravate the other person, right? They want to trigger them into crying or into anger or into fighting back. And these people are like usually of a very calm nature, and even if they're not of a calm nature, they're not the aggressive kind. So if they do get hurt or offended, they won't say anything.
Also,
And this gives the
there's like them being physically weak also, right? So they can't fight back exactly.
Someone who is physically weak but is excelling a lot in one particular field, and the bully is not. One of the reasons might be because she also has like low self-esteem. So they may be bullying them because they're jealous of the other person's achievement. This stems back into we as a society failing to address mental health. If you think that you're suffering from a mental health issue, you're just considered weak and not like I don't know, strong enough to deal with your problems, which is a huge flaw in our system, and I think we all are to blame. But one of the few reasons why people who are being mentally or emotionally abused do not get like they deserve, just because we have so much stigma around it.
about mental, like just emotionally bullying someone, is that you have no proof to show to people. Like if someone physically bullies you, you get hurt, you get a scar, you can prove like, hey, this person did this to me, this happened, right? But if someone emotionally is like, torturing you every single day, or just really bothering you, no, physically bullying you mentally or emotionally, you don't have anything to show as proof. So you cannot just approach people and tell them that, hey, this person's been doing this, and that person could completely deny all claims, and then no action can be taken.
That's very true.
People are very scared to approach teachers, thinking that the bully will do something worse to
Very
him or her.
Yes.
That's very true. I was talking to, I think, Jasmine about this. Even in our school, like there are a lot of like anti-bullying things, and like we're very against bullies. But the thing is, it happens in a very hush-hush manner. If someone gets bullied and has the courage to speak out, because let's be honest, most of them do not. If they have the courage to speak out, that person would be taken care of and would be helped out. That there is no doubt in that. However, uske baad there will be no work on that. I mean, I think if a case like this happens in the school, you need to sensitize your students more. The only way to solve the problem of bullying is working at the grassroots level. Bottom up approach we have to keep in mind. The reason of someone being bullied is not them, it's the person and the mental state, I would say, of the bully, that they are bullying someone else. We can only help out with that or like change this situation if we are able to counsel them and talk to them, which probably is not possible unless we start to talk. I mean, one of the things that I think is so great about this podcast is we are talking about issues that are usually hush hush.
So how do you deal with group bullies though? That's my proper question.
Rather than group bullies, I would call it peer pressure. You don't really want to bully, but out of like you think away from your better judgment and go forth to bully because you want to look cool or like fit in with like the group of friends that you are with right now. One of the solutions to this, I would say, though it's not very easy, would be to slowly cut ties, because you don't want to be around people who have that kind of they're in that kind of a mental stage that they want to inflict harm or pain on someone else. It would be hard because obviously like letting go from someone like a group like this is really difficult. They might even start to turn against you, but it is points like this that you can reach out for help.
I have actually an incident to mention if you don't mind.
Sure, sure.
Like I've
Mhm.
never told anyone this before in my 15 years of existence. So here it is. Okay, so when I was in grade 8th, I changed schools. Like I moved to a completely different place. Like everything was new there. The kids, in fact, the country was different, right? And it was my first time there. And I got in with like a really cool group of friends, right? My best friend, she was really sweet. The people, they were really nice and they were all super welcoming. And it was really great, right? And I remember, there was this one kid in our class. I'm not going to name him, but there was this one kid in our class who was overweight. And these people would make fun of him. It's for the randomest of things. I mean, for his weight, for him being quote unquote dumb, and so on and so forth, right? And I noticed this for the first couple of days, a week or two. And once I got comfortable around the people, I had no vendetta against the person. I'd known this person for 2 weeks, barely, right? But for some reason, I started doing it as well, along with the rest of my friends. In that moment, like that time, even I joined in with those group of people, right? And I would say stuff and be a complete bitch to that person for no reason at all. He never did anything to harm me. He was always super nice, but I just did these terrible things. And yeah, about 3 months later, so there was some incident in class where these, like a couple of guy friends of mine, bullied this kid, and it got to the teacher. Now the teacher was standing there. There was that kid, and they were those quote unquote friends of mine, and basically they were constantly lying to her about what actually happened. Basically, it was a kid who got bullied, but they turned the story around so bad that in the end, it was the kid who got bullied who ended up getting punished
Wow.
for nothing. He didn't do anything at all. It was these people who were being assholes to him, but because they were the popular group, right? And because they were more in number, the teacher believed them, and the kid who got bullied was actually punished. Like, the person literally cried on the spot. And I didn't say anything. I mean, I was sitting there with my best friend, right? Both of us were just looking at each other, same look, and we're both thinking the same thing. Like, okay, we need to tell the teacher this is not okay. I thought making fun, like in that, as a kid, I did not know that it would actually hurt the other person, right? Like I totally did not think of that. I know it was. I'm not justifying myself at all. I was a complete asshole. I know that, but in that moment, I did not think, right? And then the teacher specifically asked us, like, do you guys know anything about this? Like, do you know what actually happened? Because even she knew that something seemed wrong. And no one in the entire class, including me or my best friend, no one spoke up. Because these kids, they were the popular group, right? And if we were to have spoken up that time, or like told the teacher later on in person, they would find out, and then you would be the next target. And no one wanted that. So they just kept shush, and then after that, I had to leave the school for whatever reasons, but I never got to meet those people again. But yeah, this is what happened. So this is another very important thing I want to put out there. To know that someone is being bullied, if you know what's going on, please reach out. Okay, tell someone. Just tell the teacher if you're not like comfortable telling it to her in front of the entire class. Meet her after school, like tell her in the recess hours, or just tell some authority what's going on, because you might not realize, but you're doing a big favor to this person and you're saving them from so much psychological harm.
If you're being bullied or if you know someone who's being bullied, reach out. Okay, reach out to a teacher, to an authority, to your parents, to anyone, because believe me, that is the best thing you can do for yourself and for that person. You might not realize this in the moment, but you're saving them from so much psychological harm. So please don't hesitate, reach out. And I completely understand if it feels really daunting to talk to people about this, but you have to.
Or you can live with a guilty conscience for the rest of your life that haunts you in your nightmares.
That's very honest, Jasmine.
So that'll be it for the first part of the episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The second part will be out super soon and we have a lot to tell. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay hydrated.